Have you ever felt that every bit of coaching advice just keeps you second guessing yourself, spinning your wheels and never truly stepping into your calling? After spending 5 years as a monk in India, building a solid coaching business and helping over 750 coaches succeed, I've seen the same pattern over and over and over again. A few big truths that keep talented people like yourself forever uncertain and underpaid. Today I'm going to show you what they really are and how to finally break free. The coaching industry, they tell you 3 things that keep you stuck. Not because these things are true, but because they profit from keeping you uncertain. Instead, I'll give you an approach that lets you build a meaningful practice without losing yourself in the social media chaos, without complicated systems, and without risking your reputation. But first, let me tell you what these 3 lies are, because I see it over and over again. The first lie is probably burning you out right now. Thousands of coaches are sitting there exhausting themselves. They're posting constantly. They're chasing algorithms. They're trying to be visible on Instagram and LinkedIn and TikTok and YouTube and you know the list. And they're told they need to master every platform at once. But here's what they don't tell you. This approach creates a social media chaos, a hamster wheel that drains your energy and actually scares away the clients you're meant to help. The second lie is even more expensive. The coaching industry wants you to believe that you need expensive websites and AI chatbots and complicated sales funnels and automated email sequences. And they sell you course after course after course after course about building these systems. And they're tech heavy and it takes months to set them up and they rarely work as promised. And I should know, because I've been there and done that. So meanwhile, my most successful coaching clients, they build solid coaching practices themselves with nothing but real conversations with people they already know with this amazing technology that you have in your pockets. The third lie might be the worst of all, that you need to wait until you feel ready enough to charge real money. This lie keeps talented people like yourself trapped in endless preparation, underpricing their gifts, and never taking the leap. If you're exhausted from endless posts and your perfectionism, or you're afraid that your best will never be good enough, let's rewrite your future right now. What is it actually costing you? If you have already started, you know this feeling. You work evenings and weekends creating content that nobody sees. You feel like a fraud when it's time to charge money for your amazing service of lifting others. But for many watching this, it's even worse. You haven't even started yet. Not because you don't want to, not because you have nothing to give, but because you've been convinced that you're not ready. You're afraid of wasting time on something that might not work. Afraid of what colleagues and friends might say if they suddenly see you start calling yourself a coach. Maybe you're afraid of risking your reputation on something you're not sure if you can master. So you wait and wait, while the dream of making a deeper difference only gets stronger inside. And if you have already started, you watch others with less experience than you build what you dream of, while you struggle to make it work. Worst of all, you're not helping the people who really need what you have to give. Either because you haven't started because you think you can't, or because you're struggling to follow advice that doesn't work. But what if I told you there's a completely different way? A way where you don't have to risk your reputation, but can actually build on the respect that people already have for you. Let me start with Eric's story, because his breakthrough will show you that you don't need to be ready to begin. Eric had worked as a department manager for 15 years. He was the one everyone came to when things got difficult. His team always performed above expectations because he had this natural ability to see people and lift them up. But every morning he felt the same thing. There has to be more, something more to life than this. He had been thinking about coaching for years. He had read books, he followed coaches on LinkedIn, but every time he thought about actually doing something about it, the doubt crept in. Who am I to call myself a coach? People know me as a department manager, not as a coach. what if I can't do it? Then I'll just make myself look foolish. I haven't taken any coaching training yet. I'm not ready. So he waited and waited, while the inner longing to make a deeper difference only got stronger. And he was even on my email list for 7 years. And he came to several of my live events and was in the audience. But he didn't dare to take the leap and say, "Hi, may you help me?" So when Eric finally contacted me, he said, "Peter, I don't know if I'm ready for this. Maybe I am in a year or two." So instead of sending him to another course, I showed him something completely different. I drew what I call the OW Island to Wow Island model. On the left side is where people are stuck. It's the Owl Island where Eric was trapped. Everyone around him would say he was successful, but he felt empty. He wanted to use his natural gifts to create deeper change, but didn't dare begin. On the right side is the Wow Island, where Eric could live authentically. He could create meaningful transformations for others and had the freedom to work with what really matters to him. And the bridge between these two islands has 3 simple steps. And the first step didn't require him to call himself a coach at all. Eric's first step wasn't about being on social media or creating websites, not at all. We looked at the people who already knew him. Colleagues, former employees, people in his network, people he had met in seminars, who had seen his ability to lift others. We found just 2 people, not 200, just 2 people that he knew he could genuinely help. Here's what happened. Eric reached out to these 2 people, not as Coach Eric, but as Eric, who has helped many through challenges, and wondering if I can help you too. Both said yes to having a real conversation. During those conversations, both of them experienced something they had never experienced before, being truly seen and understood. Without Eric selling anything, both asked him, "Can we continue talking about this? I'd like to pay you for the help." Within 3 months, Eric had built a practice that gave him more meaning than 15 years as a manager. And he never called himself a coach publicly. This worked because Eric stopped waiting to become ready and started using what he already had. His experience, his natural ability to see others, the trust people already had in him. But there's something deeper that makes this possible, which brings me to how I discovered this method that made Eric's transformation possible. Because this story will show you the exact framework that transforms ordinary conversations into something that changes lives. After 5 years as a monk, I came back to Norway with this burning feeling that I had to share what I had learned. But I didn't know how to make it accessible without sounding like a preacher. Then something happened that changed everything. I sat before my teacher in a temple in India, and the air was warm and thick with sandalwood incense, and it was orange and red fabrics everywhere, and the sound of distant chanting. I had prepared this most important question about my spiritual practice, but he didn't answer what I asked. Instead, he looked straight into my eyes and spoke to something I'd never dared think out loud even. A truth so deep, I'd never been able to put it into words. His words hit something profound in me. My body started shaking and I shook for 3 days. He had found what I now call the hidden anchor. What was really holding me back. This experience taught me something that became the foundation of everything I do today. Let me show you with a simple picture. Think of a balloon seller on parade day. You see a lot of balloon dancing in the wind. Each balloon goes its own way, just like our thoughts. We have thousands of thoughts flying through our heads every single day. Most people try to chase each thought, each problem, one by one. It's exhausting and doesn't work. But look at the strings. Many balloons are tied to the same bundle of strings. Those are our emotions, the deeper layer that controls many thoughts at once. The real magic happens when you follow all the strings down to where they're attached. There find the anchor, the core pattern that holds everything together. This is what I call the truth bomb method. The ability to see past what people say and find what's really holding them back. Let me show you how this works through a story that happened just a few weeks ago. One of my master coaches, Katrin, had a conversation with someone who contacted her. He said, I struggle with delegating at work. I end up doing everything myself and I get completely burnt out. Most people would have given him tips about delegation and time management, but Katrin used the truth bomb method. Instead of solving the problem he described, she went deeper. When you think about delegating tasks to others, what happens inside of you? Well, I get worried and I get tense, and I think to myself, what if they don't do it well enough? And if they don't do it well enough, what does that mean? She asked. First it was silence, then it came. Then it's my fault. I should have done it myself in the first place. Katrin saw the pattern. This wasn't about delegation. This was about something much deeper. She posted as a question, could it be that you have learned that you have to be perfect to be worth something? He went completely quiet. Then a few tears started coming. How could he know that? I never told anyone that. In that moment, he saw that this wasn't just about work. It affected how he was a father, how he was a partner, a friend. Everywhere he didn't dare let go of control because he was afraid of not being good enough. When Katrin helped him find a hidden anchor, the belief that he had to be perfect, everything changed at once. Not just delegation at work, but the whole way he lived his life. That's the power of the truth bomb method. It doesn't just solve the problem people come with, it frees the whole person. But here's where many who have started with coaching get stuck. When you have clients, what if you burn out? What if you could earn more by actually doing less? This next step will show you exactly how. Most coaches don't struggle because they're bad coaches, but because they're selling the wrong thing. Let me show you what I mean through Anne's story. Anne had started as a coach 2 years ago. She charged $100 per hour and she worked herself to death. She still had a full-time job and she tried building a coaching practice on the side. Evenings went to coaching sessions, weekends went into preparation. She was exhausted, but the math just didn't work. Even though she worked 20-ish hours every week with coaching-related work, she couldn't replace her salary. Like most coaches, she was selling her time. But time is limited. And when you sell time, you're always limited by how many hours you can work. Then Anne made one powerful shift. Instead of selling hour by hour, she started offering something much deeper. She saw that all her clients really struggled with the same thing. They felt stuck in jobs that didn't give them meaning, but they didn't dare do anything about it. So instead of selling coaching hours, she started offering finding a way to a meaningful job in 90 days. Not hours, results. I helped to create one post about how she herself had gone from a job that she hated to doing what she loved. I wrote the post for her. The story was vulnerable, it was real, and it spoke straight to the hearts of people who felt stuck. Within the first few days after she posted, 12 people contacted her and wanted to talk. Out of those 12 conversations, 9 people said yes to her new $3,500 coaching program. From that one post, Anne generated $31,500 without ads, without complicated systems. But here's what matters most. She helped 9 people find their ways to jobs that gave them meaning. People who had been walking around feeling stuck for years. This worked because Anne's clients weren't buying hours anymore. They were investing in getting their lives back. When you shift from selling time to selling transformation, everything changes. You can set prices that reflect the real value that you create. Clients are more committed because they're investing in results. You work with fewer people, but create deeper change for them. You build a practice that gives you energy instead of draining your energy. So take out a piece of paper right now. Write down the biggest change your coaching creates. Not what you do, not the hours you work, but how you change people's lives. For example, instead of writing down, I offer coaching sessions, write, I help stressed managers rediscover joy and deeper meaning in their work. This isn't just a description of a service. This is something people gladly pay $6,000 or more to achieve. But now you're probably thinking, this sounds good, Peter, but how can I be sure I can actually deliver such results? What if I promise too much? Let me show you exactly what happened with Magnus, because his story will resolve this doubt forever. When Magnus came to me, he had 20 years of experience as a leader. People naturally came to him for advice and he lifted his teams. He saw possibilities in others. But Magnus held himself back from charging real money as a coach because he felt like a fraud. I don't have psychology training, he said to me. What if I can't help them? What if they don't get results? He continued with cheap hourly rates instead of offering what he really could. Then Magnus discovered something powerful. Those who wanted to work with him didn't care about his diplomas. They were investing in his presence, his ability to see them, his experience in handling and solving the same challenges and issues that they had. All the years of leading teams, of solving conflict and helping people through changes. This was his real qualification. The moment Magnus stopped focusing on what he didn't have and started owning what they did have, everything changed. In his next conversation, the potential client said, finally, someone who understands what I'm going through. How do we start? That client paid $6,000 without hesitation. But listen to this. In Magnus' first 8 conversations after this, every single person said yes. Within a month, he had a full practice and a growing waiting list. What did Magnus do differently? 3 simple things. 1, he listened for what lay beneath the words, not just the problem they described themselves. 2, he saw the pattern that they couldn't see themselves, the deeper cause. 3, he reflected back the transformation that awaited, not just the solution. Here's the important truth. Your lived experience is the strongest qualification you can have. Every challenge you have mastered, every crisis that you have navigated, every time you have helped someone through something difficult, this isn't random experience. This is proof that you have exactly what people need. Right now, write down one big challenge you have overcome in your own work life. Next to it, write down the insights you got from that experience. This isn't just your story. This is documentation that you can help others through the same things. Now that you have discovered your inner strength, the question becomes, how do you get the right clients to find you? The answer is simpler than you think, because here's what happens when you combine your lived experience with what I call the truth bomb method. Most coaches try to attract clients through fancy marketing, complicated techniques, and exhausting strategies. But what if you could attract clients as naturally as a magnet attracts metal? Let's go back to Magnus' story to see exactly how this works. Remember Magnus, the leader with 20 years of experience who felt like a fraud because he didn't have the right education. But then he discovered that people didn't actually care about his diplomas. They wanted his presence, his experience, his abilities to see them. The moment he stopped focusing on what he didn't have and started owning what he already had and who he was, everything changed. Already in the very next conversation, something life-changing happened. As I told you, instead of trying to sell or convince, Magnus just did these 3 simple things. He listened deeply to what was beneath the words. He noticed the deeper truth they were afraid to admit. Then he reflected back the transformation that awaited them. Because of this, his potential clients had an experience they had never had before. They felt truly seen and understood. And here's what's really incredible. In Magnus' first 8 conversations, every single person said yes. Within just 1 month, he had a fully booked practice and a growing waiting list. Now, you might think that this requires special skills or years of practice, but the truth is, you can start creating transformational moments immediately. Here's exactly what you can do today. Have just 1 conversation where you listen deeper than what people actually say. Notice what isn't being said out loud. Gently reflect back one deeper truth you sense beneath the words. For example, if someone tells you they were overwhelmed at work, you might ask, could it be that beneath that overwhelm lies a fear of disappointing others? When you go deeper like this, something magical happens. People naturally trust you. They are drawn to you. This isn't manipulation. These aren't sales tactics. This is real, deep human connection. Something everyone deeply longs for, especially now. That means you can start creating powerful moments immediately, starting with your very next conversation. But now you might be thinking, Peter, isn't it too late for me? With like AI everywhere, haven't I missed my chance? Let me tell you about Solveig. Because Solveig's story will completely flip this concern. When Solveig first contacted me, she was 62 years old. She almost didn't book a call because she thought she was too old to start coaching. Who wants coaching for someone my age? She asked. Shouldn't I leave this to the younger generation who understands technology? But here's what Solveig didn't understand. While everyone worries that AI will replace humans and take our jobs, something completely different is happening. The more digital a world becomes, the more people long for real human wisdom and deep connection. When I helped Solveig look at her existing network, she discovered something powerful. There are many people seeking genuine, deep human connection, empathy, wisdom. The loneliness epidemic has exploded. AI tools are flooding work life. But beneath all the technology is a deeper longing for someone who truly understands life's deeper challenges. In Solveig's very first conversation using the truth bomb method, her potential client, a successful 38-year-old leader, said something that changed everything. I have all the technology tools and AI assistants I could want. But what I really need is someone who understands life's deeper challenges. Someone who has been through real struggles and came out stronger. Because Solveig had overcome loss, navigating career changes, and rediscovered meaning in her own life. She could see clearly behind her clients' impressive achievements to the hidden, secret inner struggles. Solveig's coaching filled up in just 3 weeks, not despite her age and experience, but because of it. Today she has a waiting list of high-achieving clients who all want Solveig's wisdom. Every challenge you faced, every transformation you have lived through, that's not baggage, that's your greatest strength. That's what makes you the coach that people need. In a world filled with AI, human wisdom is more valuable than ever. Right now, you might be thinking to yourself, this sounds fantastic, Peter, but what happens when I actually succeed? When my calendar becomes full? Because that's what happens when you combine your lived experience with the truth bomb method. People will want more of you, and then you face a new choice. Should you work yourself to death to meet demand? Or is there another way? Let me show you exactly how this works by going back to Eric's story. Remember Eric from the start? He had never started because he didn't feel ready. 6 months after our first conversation, Eric called me. His voice was different this time, more confident. Peter, he said, I have a problem I never thought I would have. I'm really curious. I'm asking, what's that? I have too many people who want to work with me. My calendar is full, but people keep calling. What do I do now? This is what I call the good problem. But it's still a problem if you don't know how to handle it. Today, Eric works only 8 hours a week. Yet his income has tripled from his manager's salary. Instead of working 40 hours a week chasing clients, Eric works with just 8 clients at a time. He started by charging $6,000 for 6 months, but here's what happened next. He quickly built a waiting list. After just 2 months as a coach, his list grew so fast that he doubled his prices. After a few months as a coach, his waiting list grew so fast that he doubled his prices. Then he doubled them again when he moved to 12 months packages. Now he charges $24,000 per client for a year. His new packages sold out in the first week. Plus, his waiting list continues to grow. He even gets speaking engagements from his clients that brings in an extra $30,000 for just a few hours of work. That's a total of $300,000 a year, working just 8 hours a week. This is obviously an unusual success story. I just wanted to show you what is actually possible. Most coaches think success means working 40 hours every week, always being available, constantly chasing new clients. But Eric discovered something completely different. When you offer deep, meaningful transformation instead of just your time, your entire schedule transforms. Listen, Eric's clients achieve better results because Eric is fully present with them. He's rested. He's connected for every single conversation. Most coaches drain their energy completely to zero, trying to help everyone. But when you protect your energy and you stay fully charged, your coaching conversations become powerful and impactful. Here's exactly how you can do this. Take out a piece of paper right now and write down your ideal working hours. Not what you think you should work, but the hours that would really give you energy and the freedom that you want. How many clients could you help deeply in those hours? Multiply that by your ideal price per client. This isn't wishful thinking. It's a proven framework for freedom. Let's make this easy for you. Let's do this together. Ideal working hours per week, 12 hours. Number of clients you could help deeply, 8 clients. Your ideal price per client, $6,000. Let's say you take a lot of vacations and you do this 10 months a year. 48,000 times 10 equals 480,000. When you combine your wisdom, life experience, and the Truth Bomb method, and this sustainable approach, you create something most coaches never achieve. True freedom to live your life on your own terms, while making the deepest possible difference for others. But here's the final truth that can save you years of stress and prevent you from burning out before you build the practice you really want. Because here's what usually happens when coaches start succeeding. They fall into what I call the scaling trap. Let me show you exactly what I mean through Lisa's story. When Lisa first reached $6,000 in monthly revenue, she got sucked into the scaling methodology. She suddenly thought she needed to scale. Everyone told her, build a team, create online courses, automate everything. She was bombarded with ads everywhere shouting, scale, scale, scale. So Lisa hired team members. She built complicated systems. She created courses. She made everything messy and stressful for herself. And her income actually dropped because Lisa discovered a surprising truth. The more she tried to scale, the further she got away from what made her successful in the first place. Her ability to help stressed leaders regain their health and joy in life. Instead of complicated systems, Lisa finally went back to the basics. She just focused on one thing: delivering incredible transformations to a small number of premium clients. Therefore, her income tripled to $18,000 per month. The change she created in others' lives became deeper. Her work became even more rewarding. Here's what most coaches don't understand. You don't need complicated systems to make good money. You don't need a big team to create freedom. You don't need automations to share your wisdom. Sometimes the simplest approach is the most powerful. Look at your current business plans. Cross out everything that pulls you away from direct transformational work with your clients. Because when you focus exclusively on your inner wisdom, your life experience, the Truth Bomb method, and dedicated clients who pay properly, you can build a thriving coaching practice and remain true to who you really are. Now I'm going to tie all this together and show you the complete system that makes all this possible. Everything starts understanding where your ideal clients are right now, on what I call the OW Island, where they are stuck. To give you an example, for my dream clients, their OW Island looks like this. They feel like they have outgrown the current role or situation. They have a natural ability to lift others, but lack structure and belief that they can do it. They have achieved a lot in their lives, but they feel empty inside. They ask themselves, is this really all there is? They know they're meant for something more meaningful. On the other side, there is the Wow Island, where they feel free. This is where they want to be, so they can use their abilities systematically to create deep change, to work when they want, where they want, and with whom they want, to see the results of their work every day, to live authentically as who they're meant to be, have the freedom to focus on what really matters. Did you recognize yourself? I can help you create such an overview of your clients. Then you need to create a safe bridge from their ow, their stuckness, to their wow, to their freedom. Let me give you an example with my simple 3-step truth bomb attraction system. So the step 1 on the bridge is where you attract people. You use your existing network for this. So you can forget complicated marketing and social media chaos. Your first clients are people who already know you, they like you, and they trust you. It's people you know. And then create a simple and powerful message based on your own transformational story. Position yourself as who you are through authentic sharing. And then you create your first $6,000 per month. To make this step simple and fast, I write the messages for my clients. I'd be happy to do that for you too, if you want. Step 2 is where you convert them. You turn them into clients with truth bomb conversations. And this step, you don't sell. You give deep coaching experiences. You use the truth bomb method to find their hidden anchor. You help them see exactly where they're stuck and what's holding them back. You create such a deep transformation that they naturally say, I must work with you. So that you can hear 8 out of 10 say, yeah, I need to work with you, just like my master coach's experience. That brings us to the last step, which is step number 3. This is where you transform and build a waiting list. On this step on a bridge to your wow island, you deliver life-changing results, often in the very first conversation. You use the balloon method to find and release the hidden secret causes that keeps them stuck. You create transformations that are global transformations, meaning they're across all areas of their lives. You give your clients such deep results that they send you their friends. Therefore, automatically you build a system that creates waiting lists. At the heart of this system lies the truth bomb method I discovered in the temple in India. Remember the balloon seller I talked about? Instead of chasing surface thoughts, the balloons, you follow the strings down to find a hidden anchor. The core pattern that holds everything in place. When you release that anchor, everything transforms at once. Not just the problem they came with, but relationships, work, family, everything connected to that pattern. But I see it in people's eyes when I tell them this. The same mixture of hope and fear that I saw in Eric's eyes the first day. The hope is, maybe I can actually do this. The fear is, but what if I can't do it alone? What if I mess it up? And that's exactly why I have to tell you something important. After helping 750 coaches succeed with this system, I have learned that you cannot do this alone. Not because you're not smart enough or skilled enough, because you are, but because it's impossible to see your own blind spots. Even I can't. I remember when Eric called me 3 weeks after we started. His voice was flat. Peter, I had that conversation we talked about, but it went completely wrong. I think I said something wrong. He didn't seem interested at all. So what did you say? I asked him. When Eric told me about the conversation, I saw the problem immediately. He had done exactly what I warned against. He had tried to fix the problem instead of finding the anchor. But Eric couldn't see it himself. None of us can. That's why Anne needed me to write her post. She had the story, but she couldn't see the power in it. That's why Magnus needed to practice in safe surroundings before he dared charge $6,000 for the first time. That's why Solveig needed someone who could say, your age is not your weakness, it's your greatest strength. Even the model is simple. There are many invisible pitfalls you can't see yourself. They're hidden in your blind spots. You need a mentor who can see your blind spots and where you're holding yourself back. A warm community of others on the same journey. A proven method that works. Your own transformation so you can guide others through theirs. And practice in a safe community before you work with paying clients. That's exactly why I created the Leadership of Heart Master Coaching program. It's not just another course that you can buy and then forget, but as a personal journey where I walk beside you step by step until you stand safely on your own wow island, your own freedom island. And here's exactly how we work together. And let me exemplify it with Eric's story, how he did it. First 2 weeks, we didn't just jump into, hey, have conversations. We actually built his foundation so he could feel safe and secure at it. So I gave him some tasks and exercises, and he completed them. And in that, he identified his transformational statement, not some generic, I help with leadership, but I help high achievers and leaders rediscover the joy of leading and taking it to the next level for them. And he wrote down his own breakthrough story and the wisdom that he gained from it. And he listed up 5 people, only 5 people in his existing network that he knew that could benefit from his help. And then I wanted to make this super simple for him, so I interviewed him just to ask him a few questions, and then I wrote for him. And in week 3, he sent that to 2 people among those 5 on his list. And it was a simple, heartfelt message that I created for him. And then we practiced the Truth Bomb method in safe practice conversations inside our community first. So he felt really safe, and he focused in those conversations on listening deeper for what's beneath the surface, and then reflecting the deeper truths back to people. You can do this as well. And around week 5, he offered his first transformational packages to those 2 people who are ready. And it was not like time-based offers, but he focused on the results they would get. And he used the client results to feed them back into the community as authentic stories for inspiration sharing. And he built out his waiting list just from natural referrals from his satisfied clients. I remember he wrote me a message saying, I have a team working for me in sales and marketing 24/7, 365, because he didn't ask them. They just sent their friends all the time. That's how his waiting list grew. And as his demand raised the first few months, then he started getting so much clients that he needed to increase his prices. So he focused with fewer clients on deeper transformation. And this way he avoided the scaling trap because it kept it simple and powerful. And to support you safely and powerfully, I only take in a few new people into this program every month. This isn't some kind of mass-produced course. It's a personal journey where I guide you step by step, and we get to know each other personally very well. And here's how that would look like if you choose to work with me. So first, you get a deep, personal, deep, transformational conversation with me personally, because I need to know you and your story. I'll use the Truth Bomb method with you personally, so you get to experience the method and the power of it directly. Then we identify your unique gifts and your story and how you can use them to position yourself to be of greatest service. And you'll feel like you have truly been seen and understood, not just like who you are and your name and where you're from, but who you really are and what you really have to give to the world. Then we will work on, you'll actually get the Truth Bomb method, and you can work in the community on how to use it safely and effectively. Then, of course, I'll ask you too, just like Eric, I'll ask you some simple questions about your background and the story and what you have overcome. Then I create your authentic story for you, so you can use that story to attract your ideal clients. And you'll have the exact conversations that have people asking you to become your paying clients without you ever needing to sell yourself. And you learn how to create deep transformations, so deep that people tell their friends about it, so you create waiting lists. Of course, you need weekly support, and we have coaching sessions in small groups. We have practice conversations where you can try and learn safely. You have personal guidance from me whenever you feel like you're most challenged, and you get direct feedback on all of your conversations. And you get support from a fantastic community that truly understands your journey because they're on the same journey. And of course, throughout a year, you get regular mentoring, access to me and my team for guidance and course direction, weekly group calls to fine-tune your approach and get inspired by others. And then, of course, you have lifetime access to everything in the modules, all the teaching materials, and continued support while you build your own practice exactly the way it is best for you, because it's different for everyone. And then you get the support when you need it the most. After hearing that, you might be wondering, Peter, there are many coaching programs out there. What makes this different? That's a good question. And let me be completely honest with you, because this isn't just about learning the deep transformational techniques. And it's not just about becoming certified as a master coach or mastering this new, deeper transformational method. This is about becoming who you're meant to be, while helping others at the highest level. This is about becoming confident as a coach and getting started without making those mistakes, without embarrassing yourself. I remember the conversation I had with Magnus just after his first month in the program. He said something that hit me deeply. He said, Peter, it's for the first time ever, I feel like I'm not pretending. I'm just me, but the very best version of myself. And that's what happened when you stop trying to be someone else and start owning who you already are. The ultimate goal isn't just to make money or get freedom, which is both nice, I promise. It's about stepping into your authentic power, your authentic self, and creating the deep, meaningful impact that you're here to make. Like clients like Eric and Anne, Magnus and Catherine, all of them once doubted themselves, and now they lead authentically. They earn what they're worth and what the transformation is worth, and they finally feel like themselves. And that's the truth bomb difference. So right now, I think that you have two choices in front of you right now. Path one, you can continue trying to build your coaching practice. And maybe you'll do it in a way everyone else teaches you, chasing social media, algorithms, and building complicated systems and trying to compete on price and very often burning out in the process. Or path two, you can use this proven system that has already helped hundreds of coaches build thriving practices by being true and authentic to themselves and earning and serving from their deepest gifts. And I'm so confident in this system that I offer a guarantee. And that is, if you implement everything I teach you and you don't see significant progress in your practice within 90 days, I'll work with you personally until you do. But here's what I learned. The coaches who succeed aren't necessarily the most talented or the most experienced. They're the ones who are the most committed to their own transformation and most dedicated to serving others. To get this level of personal mentoring and transformation is, of course, a significant investment. But think about this. Anne earned $31,500 from one single post, and Eric built a $300,000 a year practice. Magnus is charging $6,000 per client. Even more important, this isn't about the money. This is about finally living life as who you're meant to be and creating the difference for others that you're here to make. And you deserve to wake up, living your truth, not waiting one more year for that perfect moment that never comes. So if you're still here watching this, you're ready. So you can go to my website, petersvending.com, and claim your free breakthrough conversation call. And we can discover your hidden anchor so you can live and coach at the level your heart has been calling you towards all along. So in this conversation, I'll use the Truth Bomb method with you personally so you can experience the power directly. We'll also create a clear roadmap for your transformation and from where you are now and where you want to be as a master coach, and the step-by-step that is uniquely tailored to you. And this conversation alone is worth thousands of dollars, but it's free for serious candidates who are ready to transform their lives and the life of other people. And I only open a few spots each month, and some months I don't open at all. And historically, when I open up, these slots, they fill up in about 72 hours after this training is released. So if your heart says yes to this work. Listen to their heart. Don't wait. Because your future clients are waiting for the coaching that only you can give. Because you have a special essence, a temperature that only you can give them. I remember I learned this back in India in the temple. When you find and you release that hidden anchor, everything transforms at once. Your anchor might be the belief that you need to be someone else to succeed. Or that you need complicated systems to build a practice. You're right. Or that you're not ready yet. But the truth is, you already have everything you need. Your life experience, your natural ability to see others and to lift others, your desire to make a bigger, deeper difference. And that is your greatest resource. The world needs what you have to offer. Not someday when you're ready enough, but right now. Please offer it, however you do. With or without me, just please offer it. This isn't really about building a coaching business. It's about answering the longing that you feel in your heart, the certainty that you're meant for something more. It's about that moment when you look in the mirror and see not just who you are, but who you're meant to become. The person who creates ripples of transformation beyond what you can see. When you help a leader transform, they go back and they lift their entire team. When you help a parent heal, they break generational patterns and create a different future for the children. When you help a person find their authentic power, they inspire others to do the same. This is the real impact of becoming a master coach. You don't just change individual lives, you change the world, one transformation at a time. So let me ask you the same question that changed everything for me back when I was sitting in the temple in India. What does your heart really long for? Not what your head thinks you should want, not what other people expect of you, but your heart, the deepest, the truest part of you. What is it that it draws you towards? If you could live your life exactly as you're meant to live it, serve others the way you're meant to serve, create the impact you're meant to create, what would that look like? I'm not just inviting you to learn a system or build a business. I'm inviting you to step into who you truly are meant to be, to use your gifts, not just to help others, but to become the fullest expression of yourself in the process, to create freedom, financial freedom, geographical freedom, spiritual freedom that lets you live life on your own terms while making the deepest possible difference for others. If your heart says, yes, this is my path, then please come visit me. The link is in the description. Go to petersvenning.com right now and book your own truth bomb, truth conversation with me. And in that conversation, you'll experience for yourself what it feels like to be truly seen on all levels and understood. You'll discover what has been holding you back from stepping into your full power as a coach. And you'll leave that conversation with a total clarity about your next steps. Sometimes I tell people they need to go without me and I refer them to something I think is better for them. And if your plan, what you need, your clarity plan, matches with what we do in our Master Coach certification program, then I'll tell you more about it and invite you in. But more than that, you'll leave the call remembering who you really are. Beneath all the doubts, all the hidden patterns that have held you back until now, you'll connect with a part of you that knows without doubts that you're meant for something greater. Here's what I know is true. You wouldn't have watched this entire training if you weren't meant for this path. Something in you recognizes this work because it's calling you home to yourself. The question isn't whether you're capable of this transformation, because you are. The question isn't whether you have what it takes to help others, because you do. The only question is, are you ready to say yes to who you're meant to become, to your future higher self, the one who lives authentically, creates deep difference and transformation in other people's lives, and experience true freedom. That version of you is waiting for your decision. Your ideal clients, those who need exactly what you have and only you have to offer, are waiting you to step into your power. The world, which desperately needs more heart-centered leaders right now, they need you, someone who can create real transformation. the world is waiting for your unique contribution. Don't let another day pass living less than you're meant to live. Don't let another month go by while you watch others build the kind of practices that you know that you're meant to have. Don't let another year slip away without answering that call that brought you here in the first place. So, feel into your heart. If it's right for you, please click the link in the description, go over to petersvendling.com now, and you can book your conversation that might be the first step to your freedom. Take that step, that first step towards becoming who you're truly meant to be. Your transformation starts the moment you say yes to yourself. I'll see you on the other side of that decision, where your real life is waiting for you. Thank you so much. I love you. And if you don't click that link, then I suggest clicking this link, because that's a video that will help you take your gifts and move towards giving it from service and from love to others. Click that now.